So the day would come in which all grey would disappear and the white is white and the black is black. Alhamdulillah. InshaAllah, what do we have from our SMC family and all their khidmat and service? InshaAllah, people who are coming new, that please email helpme@nurmuhammad.com, and this is a staff email. And alhamdulillah for all your questions and related questions to the tariqah and to spirituality. InshaAllah, there's not family counselling. Family counselling you have to pay and go to a family counsellor. Tariqah is about your spirituality and your soul, your individual role on your path. Otherwise people want to email about issues in their family, family counselling is you have to go the route of family counselling, take both parties and do your counselling. This is regarding each individual person faced with the test, what do I do? And this is important because everyone's responsible only for themselves. So you meditate, contemplate, be patient through testing, be tolerant, be compromising. So life is filled with these types of difficulties. InshaAllah Allah address everyone, bless everyone, and all our people online whom are helping and new that email helpme@nurmuhammad.com, and that make comments in the video to help the algorithms. Make only one comment, if you make 10 comments in one video it ruins the algorithm. So again everything with understanding, you make one comment in the video and then all those unique comments makes the video to look like somebody likes it. If one person makes 100 comments in the video it's considered a spam on the video, and they feel that we are spamming our own channels and then it becomes detrimental to the videos. So for all the new people, our life is about don't be hidden, don't be hidden on a couch somewhere hiding yourself, is come up front so the shaykhs all see you with their nazar. Make your comments, make beautiful comments, make positive comments, and that way you begin to be seen throughout our platforms, the charity, the store, Facebook, social medias, the YouTube, wherever you're seeing these teachings then make your beatific comments and the love for Allah, love for Sayyidina Muhammad. If you don't support and you don't comment and you don't participate, who do you think will? You think a foreign government steps in and… As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nazim. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream, every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Helps the tariqah? No. So then if people don't step up and act on their faith, then don't be surprised when things are not around. So this is a life in action. So alhamdulillah our people are strong, mashallah, they support, they give, they participate, and alhamdulillah look at the message going everywhere. The turbans everywhere, the teachings everywhere. So alhamdulillah. What do we got?
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, when we enter the presence of certain awliya, they change and raise our frequencies. Does this impact continue after they have passed from this world?
That's all in the studies of the muraqabah, that your life is to make a connection with these awliya so that you can benefit from the wave reality. If through your life with a living shaykh you were able to achieve the realities of the wave, then space and time makes no difference for you. We said if you're going to be a wave reality, you're operating from the world of light. So why would life and death be of an issue? If you're a wave reality, then those whom passed and veiled themselves from the physical world, they're more powerful in the spiritual world. And your connection is with all the spiritual world and all the spiritual realms. So it's the time we have that God gives us an opportunity, make your connection. And as a result of that connection, the whole spiritual world becomes open to the servant, regardless of space and time, in which they used to try to teach that and say, Owaisi connection. Oh, this shaykh trained this shaykh but he was 1,000 years before this shaykh and that, because there's no difference in time. Time is not relevant in the world of light. Once they meet in the world of light, who came and what time they came and 1,000 years before they came, 4,000 years before they came, it makes the difference. In the world of light there is no time. When the servant enters into the world of light, Sayyidina Adam can teach the servant isma kullaha and all its realities and everything that he wants to teach. Because in that world of light there is no time, and they enter into a moment of light and to receive that faiz and that understanding and those illuminations, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
So this is more of a thank you note saying, from your talk about applied neurosciences, we learned the meditation can help in brain structure and enhance our stress response and improve cognitive functions. Thank you for sharing such deep understandings and address us with these immense realities. Can you expand a bit more on that, inshaAllah?
Yeah, inshaAllah. I think people whom are in that field should start to come up with either articles or information at helpme at nurmuhammad.com, because these things are something that we touch on from its haqqaiq, so that the people in science could apply the reality to their field. So that people whom are in an inspired state, why aren't the Muhammadans publishing and coming out with these realities? You know that the light and illumination of the Muhammadan nation changed this earth, took it from its darkness and dark ages. Who were Ibn Sina, Ibn Arabi, Khawazimi, the algorithm, all of these names, who are they? They were all awliya, they were all the Muhammadiyun. So where are they now? When you know this haqqaiq and you know that they're trying to bring these sciences out, applied neuroscience, and they find that it's all based on energy, oh this is what all tariqahs have been teaching, that we're energy beings. Of course you're going to have an experience, and they say, oh the shaykh has no benefit to you, why you respect him? I mean what kind of school did that person go to? Probably no school, because you would find that character like in a zoo. But anybody who did a little bit of schooling, a little bit of science, they're teaching you now in all these sciences. Applied neuroscience says the microwave can affect your brain. Then they say, well even this human who's extremely positive, when he walks into the room he can recharge everything. And the people scientifically they see, they completely become recharged. And they have the expression, this person lights up the room. So how then these no mind Muslim people say that why you have to respect people? Because they absolutely have no mind, is exactly what Mawlana Shaykh was saying. They stopped going to school for some reason, they stopped educating themselves in sciences, and they don't apply the sciences that they learn to Islamic realities. And that's where the great disconnect is happening. And now non-believing, non-Muslim people are finding all the haqqaiqs out. That's the sad part, that the non-Muslims are finding the haqqaiq. Can I jump on the roof?
Oh, there's a
rocket today. Oh, the boom. Yeah. So non-Muslim people are finding haqqaiqs, and the people of haqqaiq are trying to teach their students is start applying these haqqaiqs and bring out these realities. Because they're expanding something they don't understand. And the people of the Muhammadan haqqaiq, they should understand that and take their sciences, their science proofs, and now apply it and say, no, this is exactly what all these awliya were training. And that's why tafakkur with a guide is important, because your tafakkur with a microwave can kill you, and scientifically they know that. You go into a room, all your electronic devices are going to crush you. So then now you can scientifically prove that you need a guide. You need somebody much more positive than yourself to accompany, and if you connect with that person then there should be an enormous amount of power. And then you go a step further because they don't believe in the soul, that you can connect with that person regardless of space and time, because they have the ability to send their soul in your presence, inshaAllah. So these are deep realities, that's why it's good to stop and keep going over things. Otherwise we're going fast. It's like you take an algebra course and you keep getting new formulas but we don't know how to apply any of them to any sort of benefit. So it's good to keep going over all of what we talked of the wave, the particle, the binary coding, and now all of these energies and energy manipulation and all of these realities, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, what causes the static electricity we occasionally experience with our clothing? Is it also related to jinn energy?
No, it's just electromagnetic energy that's in the air. And we just movement is gathering that energy upon ourselves, and we feel like a little bit of a shock every now and then because of the fabric and the conductivity of people. But that's the energy that's always in the air, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, why do we feel negative emotions and feelings that lead to exhibition of negative characters even though we are under the protection of wudu and doing our practices?
Why do we feel negative energy?
We feel all these negative emotions that lead us to exhibiting bad characters.
This is what we call the great fight. Nobody said because we have wudu it would be easy. So this is a great fight. Imagine the people whom don't have wudu and don't make salawat, they end up all tattooed and angry, crazy, fiery, violent and screaming on the street. How do you think they got that? Because it was just peaceful transition into that demeanour? Or right now there's an immense spiritual battle everywhere. Shaitan is a full-fledged battle with humanity. So then the one whom washes, of course they're going to feel they're under attack now, because the shaitan is at the door scratching, where before he's entering. So you don't feel it, you just enter it and start to do every bad thing. Soon as you wash, what happens? You have like a protection. So now you hear the scratching on the windows of your house because you're feeling they're trying to get in. You do your salawats, then they start to agitate and aggravate and try to whisper and cast the images and doubts, and because this is a full-fledged battle and he wants to get inside. So if you're successful in keeping him outside, he's just yelling from outside, and then you make your meditation and connection stronger. We said that when you say certain things it exposes things, so when the shaitan can get too close then we have to have a stronger connection with the shaykh, stronger tafakkur, stronger in our practices, so that he can only cast his waswas from a distance. But if you hear him whispering into your ear, he's too close. So this is the great battle. There's nothing going to be easy about it, there's no need to ask questions why. It is that is. That is the fight, that is the battle, that is the difficulty. Every temptation to come, every image to come, everything coming. Just because you decided to put something on or make salawat doesn't mean it stops, it means you've entered into the fight. Because the ones who didn't, look now they're all marked up like shayateen and they eat anything they want and they're actively violent, very violent. And the violence only increases upon the earth. How they talk now is not even human. They say, we should annihilate everyone, we should drop this on people, we should burn the people, we should do like this, do like… This is not human dialogue anymore. Allah was describing, if they do an atom's weight of bad they will see it. They've went beyond atoms, they're doing open atrocities against people and think they are the paradise people. Unbelievable. Allah say, if you do atoms weight of bad you'll see it. So imagine then what these people are. So this is the world that's opening now. Then it requires strong connection, strong love for Prophet and to be safe through these difficulties inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, would reciting our awrads on water, especially within the copper water canisters from the SMC store, for example, help us with stomach issues and parasites and anxieties?
Yeah, every type of recitation on water, on glass, you can use the copper, it's antibacterial, antimicrobial. They have bowls, they have cups, they have big canisters online for people who want to get. But the concept of healing ourselves through recitation and through energy and energy practices and studying that everything now has parasites, every meat and every food has parasites. And Allah has provided herbs that are essential, and these herbs when we ingest them then they have a tremendous cleansing within the stomach, within the body and within our being. So these are important for people to research and to take a homeopathic understanding towards parasites and a spiritual understanding. That how does a little creature lock on to you? We're talking about a tick and a sight of a worm can lock onto your neurosystem and completely make a person sick and lose their entire health. Is it not a jinn? Yeah, of course there's a jinn, so something's happening. So then when we take our understandings and we have our taweez and we have our inner cleansing and inner practices, and then all the different herbs that Allah has given to people so that to cleanse their stomach from these creatures, and the spiritual path and spiritual practices that cleanse the jinn beings to leave the spiritual person. And all of that comes down to the salawats and love of Prophet is the greatest cleansing of the soul. That the shayateen they cannot take that heat, so they leave. Then if it's nur shaitan and just a negative energy, bad energy, then with that hikmah and wisdom and their practices and the different herbs and elements that they introduce into their food, then alhamdulillah becomes tremendous cleansing. InshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, in a previous sohbah you mentioned how Dajjal will use frequencies that will harm mankind and the believers will hear Mawlana Shaykh Nazim's voice. Are these bad frequencies the bad music?
That's already in a talk, so everything is a frequency, that's a part of the Dajjalic system. So we're talking about the actual Dajjal walking on the earth and moving and capturing people's souls by sound. That's a separate issue, that's an event. But right now the Dajjalic system, of course it's in every media, whatever you hear, whatever you see, everything is under his influence, right? He has people who are called influencers. They have concerts and on their concerts they wave their hands and fires shooting in the air and they're giving their allegiance. And they call them the legions and the minions of these devils, and open demonic ceremonies on their stage. And they pay $200 million, $300 million to represent the devil and to destroy the souls of humanity. And the frequency in which they recite are demonic frequencies in which to lower the energy. Back to applied neuroscience, when you hear these sounds your actual energy field drops, and the scientists are seeing that. When they play the games the energy field drops. The devices all around their home, the energy field drops. As a result of dropping, what happens? You drop the shield of that person, you make them mentally incapacitated, they're not at a mental state in which to defend themselves. You make them, their physiology to be incapacitated, weakened, well then that's a prime position for attack. So any type of spiritual being then would want to attack that person. Why? Because they don't have the natural spiritual ability of their soul to push away attack, so they can easily become possessed. And if they become possessed then their mind to be overtaken by these creatures. So yes, this is an active spiritual battle, and that's why these sciences are coming out. And it's for the favoured nation of Allah to teach from these sciences that, oh, you have to meditate, you have to contemplate, you have to understand your neurological field of energy and how to shield it from negativity and how to boost it with positivity. So again, in the time of ignorance the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad will shine. Means as a darkness comes, Prophet said, what? That any of my companions you follow are like stars on a dark night. So as soon as zulm comes and darkness comes, the nation of Prophet shines even brighter, because the other ones have nothing, they're playing with devils. And the devils will devour and destroy them and they're devoid of light. So the only nation that has a light from the heavens, then it shines when oppression enters upon the earth. They have the solution. Look, when COVID came, people who mocked hijab and mocked the washing and mocked everything of Islam, what did they do? They covered their face like they all had burqa, they washed themselves like they all had to do wudu. So they understood that the answer is always with what Prophet brought for humanity. So when the time comes down in difficulty, everything always goes back to Islam. All the foolishness and other things are thrown out, and Islam comes always as the solution, as the guiding light. And even the people who talk bad about Islam, always something happens to them. So Allah's great. It is Islam itself has its own defense mechanism, that anyone doubt it, talk bad about it and see what happens to you. Nobody has to do anything to you, Allah will do things to you. Islam has its own defense mechanism from the heavens, it's encrypted and safeguarded. Its book is safeguarded, its love for Prophet is safeguarded, and everything about the deen is completely safeguarded, and it has its own defense mechanism. So it is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it should illuminate the darkness that enters upon this earth and is now is a great darkness upon this earth and a great ignorance, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Is it fair to say that these big diseases like cancers, Alzheimer's, diabetes, etc. are in fact specific jinns? Are there specific du'as to get rid of these jinns or diseases?
No, it's not so specific like that. You've got to put things more together. There's not a jinn out there that causes diabetes. You have to meditate and contemplate more. It's something more of an understanding. That when these energies come to you, a negative energy comes to you, then begins to create a problem within your entire body. As a result of that problem, they affect all the cells in the body, all the ability of your cells to function properly in your body. And then begin to affect your appetite and your ability to digest. So it's all related to the infestation of the jinn world within this realm, within our food. Look, like if for example of just diabetes, there's no food that doesn't have corn syrup. So people with diabetes, if they go to other countries, their sugar levels get better. The countries that don't have these hormones and this type of diet, because they eat natural. The bread, the pastas, the food, the cheese is all natural. But in the Western world what happens? They have on Netflix a show called Food Inc. Every single product in a grocery store seems to be made from corn syrup, which is immensely destructive on your glucose system and your sugar system, your insulin and pancreas. So it's designed to destroy people. So we're in a system that is designed to destroy people through their inside and through their outside. That's what we described, from 6 directions shaitan is trying to kill off people but not able to kill them off fast enough. So in your home look and say, okay, they made the microwave, they made the TV, they made your radio system, they made your phone, your earphone, everything at a frequency to cook your brain. Who does something like that? Why didn't they do it in a different technology, in a non-harmful technology? And do they know? Maybe they don't, but the beings behind them want humans gone, a majority of them gone. And then the food that they give to people is not healthy, is not good, it's not nutritious. But people don't understand, and they're conditioning people like a cow. Just don't think and listen to what we tell you. So they banned straws. They said the straw has plastic, so you can't have a straw. But you go to the grocery store, the cheese is in plastic, all the vegetables you have to put it in plastic, the meats are in plastic, the bread is in plastic, the yogurt is in a plastic, every 99.9% of everything in the grocery store is packaged in plastic, but you can't have a plastic bag when you go home. Is this a moron training? Or you think this is somebody safeguarding our safety? This is a training to condition people not to think. Don't use your logic. That come into the store and see everything's plastic, but when we tell you we're not going to give you plastic, you say, oh yeah, because plastic is very harmful. And then the people become conditioned and say, yeah, plastic is very harmful. But what then, everything you sold me is in plastic. They give you the cup, venti cup, it's all plastic, but you can't have a plastic straw. So they give you paper straw that bends, in the middle of your drink it is ruined. This is a logical and understanding, and this is the illumination of the heavens? Or this is a systematic dumbing down of people to no longer think but absorb what we tell you, lose your logical understanding where you use your logic and your God-given capacity that this is not correct. Either sell it all in paper or don't restrict the bag, you're playing a game. So this is the world in which we live in. Shaitan is attacking the food, the clothes, the electronic devices. Every type of negativity is being inflicted upon humanity. That's the jinn world. And as a result your body doesn't function and the food is poisonous, so what can you eat that makes you to be healed? And that becomes more and more difficult, especially in Dajjalic areas and the Dajjalic system, inshaAllah.
Sayyidi, you already may have addressed this. As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi. One doctor here in India, famous doctor, calling all the doctors practicing naturopathy, herbal medicine as a hoax. He terms them as unscientific, pseudoscience, etc. I'd love to hear your wisdom about it.
Yeah, I don't know why that person is doing that. I think there are certain areas where there's lots of gurus. I've seen your street videos on street dentistry, so some things could be scary for people, but in general if we're talking about the sunnah and tib al-nubuwwah, the way that Prophet brought for prophetic medicine, then it's a healing. So this is a traditional way, and that's not something appreciated in the last days because remember it's a systematic destruction of people. So nobody's interested in organic healing and easy healing, and it's an industry. So if in sickness they can make $10,000 from you versus somebody give you $10 worth of herbs, if that would be treatable. Well, they have no incentive to promote something less profitable. So also there's a profit incentive. So these are all these variables that play into this difficult world. But when the student studies and they do their energy, they do their practices, they keep with their medicine and also experiment and understand all the energy and traditional medicines and try to complement and bring them together for a better understanding and live a balanced life. So alhamdulillah, Islam has always come to illuminate darkness. And again once we enter into this realm of darkness where people are not knowing the energy effect and think that it can only be just medicine. No, do you know that now they found out for all major difficulties in life somehow vinegar has a important presence. Eczema is related to the heart and food and digestion. It's not a condition on your skin that you want to put a lot of creams and burn yourself. So these types of sicknesses have to do with digestion and from the stomach and into the heart. So then the sunnah of Prophet was what? Is that you're supposed to have vinegar on your house, so that every house that has vinegar is a blessed house, and you're supposed to have 2 spoons of vinegar before everything you eat. Now all these homeopathic and herbal doctors are all saying the same, that it's amazing that if you put vinegar, lemon and water together you'll help your liver. And you know the fatty liver, it becomes all fat and all the triglycerides, everything is being raised in that because of all the oil and everything that people are eating. So then what helps with that was the vinegar and lemon and water. Either you take the straight vinegar, or people who can't do it they put the 2 spoons of vinegar and a little bit of water, a fresh squeezing of a half a lemon and drink it. And if they can do that before they eat, those enzymes help to break down and burn those oils and reduce the liver back to a normal state, a healing state of the fatty liver to be destroyed. But this is all in the tib al-nubuwwah, in the prophetic medicines of Prophet. That's why I said they went all around the world and came back with all of these things for people to eat, and in the end they go back to prophetic medicine. So this is amazing, this vinegar is something amazing, and it was all there, everything that Prophet described. Black seed is all there, everything that Prophet brought for humanity It outdoes time because people become clever, they go all the way around and they come right back to the holy sunnah Prophet. The siwak, use the siwak because it's the energy that enters your mouth that goes to your heart and give people heart conditions. So when you use the siwak it takes the energy from the mouth so that that energy doesn't go down into the heart and cause heart conditions and heart energies and every type of attack within. And we have those talks on the holy sunnah and the power of the sunnah of Prophet. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.